Welcome to the Garden of Zen, where I do my crappy gear overviews that I'm going to be doing. I'm also playing with the Pocket 3 at the minute, so it's an excuse to be out here. It looks like it's going to rain, but we're talking here about rain covers. If it rains, I'm going to be just fine. This right here is the PortaBrace rain slicker for the FX6. There's only basically 2 rain covers out there for the FX6. Camraid did one. They actually discontinued it. Camraid has released some new variations, but they're not designed specifically for the FX6. They're like generic sizes that are more versatile overall. So there really isn't that much on the market when it comes to rain covers for the FX6. In this video, I'm going to be answering, does it fit V-locks? Does it fit a DJI transmitter on the back? What lenses can it take? Can it use the UWP kit on the top? I'm also going to talk about, like, for example, if it can cover the tripod head as a whole. Now, I will be a bit harsh and say that PortaBrace kind of didn't forget their clown costume. This basically has no marketing on it. The picture on the homepage of pretty much all retailers isn't even of an FX6, it's of some other Sony camera, so that's just ridiculous that they don't supply the normal picture. It seems to mention features that mine just doesn't seem to have exactly. It doesn't tell you if it works with the UWP kit. There's no installation videos, there's no instructions, and ironically, this thing doesn't even come with a bag. I bought this blind. I had no idea if this was going to be any good for my use case at all. So without further ado, I'm going to basically show you how to put this on. This isn't going to be a great part of the video because I'm not very good at this, but it is quite quick actually, and it gives you an idea how quick you can kind of put it on, sort of get it vaguely ready for if you were just suddenly you started getting a downpour of rain. So first of all, I take off the mic, I take off the hot shoe, the UWP kit, because there's a lot that could get snagged. Take off the mat box, of course. Just find the top part. This is the top part. This actually can come off, this little rain cover. This is the top part of your handle. So that's a key point you need to remember. And immediately just find your lens. You've got your lens part here. Underneath this, you've then got your zip, which essentially is the length of a lens you can hold, because you can zip up the entire lens or you can keep it quite flexible. And then you've just got another drawstring for your bottom. I like to move the zips all the way to the bottom so there's less potential of hitting the lens. And you just kind of got to be a bit brutal with it. Once you like to get the whole bottom of the entire piece, loosen the drawstring a bit more. And I'm just going to keep that from there, and I'm just going to quickly pull it over the camera a little bit. Keep pulling it over, and I'm just going to focus my priority is getting this lens hood over that lens. Boom, done. I'm then going to immediately tighten the lens hood just enough so it's not going to go anywhere. I'm then going to pull this over just gently, piece by piece. The next priority is getting it in the LCD, actually in its LCD spot. That goes over. The LCD is now just about in. The back end is a mess, we don't care about that. I'm then going to line up this top handle part, which it's lined up pretty good there. And then I'm just going to basically gently shimmy the whole back end over, and we're done. The camera's bagged, pretty much ready to stay dry in a moment's notice. All right, so going through the slicker is a pretty nice material. I've actually still got the tag on it because I'm not entirely sure if I love it, but I'm pretty content with it, to be honest, at this point. It's got a big, giant clear panel, which means you could easily get a 5-inch screen in here. If you don't use the stock, you could get a 5-inch screen. As well, for the screen, you've got a piece of Velcro pocket underneath where you can get access to tap it and obviously move the screen. But you've also can open up the sides like so and even keep the bottom sort of shut. So you can actually kind of just put your hand through to also adjust it. So you've got sort of like both options. I personally think this screen design is kind of frustrating. It's amazing that it's big because it means you can use a bigger monitor, but there's so much just flappy access here, and I kind of wish it could do that, but it kind of does need to be because the surface is big. You can see the screen from a much lower angle than you would traditionally, so it does work. It's got a big display on the side here, which you can see all your buttons. You can access your buttons as it's all Velcro under here, so you get your fingers in. But you also have a side compartment and sort of a front compartment, so you can really just completely open up the side of the camera to get access to it. This normally lines up better, but again, got a lot of length going on here. You've also got a battery cover in the back, which you can get to your BP bats. Obviously, I have a big old V-lock on the back here. This is big enough, actually. I can kind of fit my finger here, unconnected easily. You can see I've got the big old transmitter in the back there as well. This would normally fit perfectly, but obviously here you can pop the battery out, put the battery in, absolutely make sure it's locked in, and then on the top you have Velcro. Unlock, you can have access to the whole internals of the camera. So here as well, you've got access to the grip and stuff, and there's a little side lip, I guess you'd call it. You can flip over so that no water can definitely not get in. And yes, for those wondering, I do use an easy rig, so this is compatible with an easy rig. You can clip it on here, kind of keep this really tight to the ball. You probably would still need to use tape around it a little bit, but it would let you use an easy rig. So onto the top handle and a UWP. Now, to put it simply, this whole thing actually can cover over the UWP, but there's no way you're going to be able to put this whole cover over that kit and over the back of like a transmitter and a V-lock. Plus it puts a lot of strain on the fabric. It doesn't really work, and you're putting a lot of pressure on your hot shoe at the end of the day. And then it kind of just gives you enough of a slot to be able to still have space to put it up here, and you just kind of Velcro it shut. So frustratingly, you do still have to use something like a baggie like this. Moving on to the right side of the camera, you do get this little pocket in the side here. When you open this up, sort of get access to your ports and stuff. As you can see, I can only see the side battery. It's because this is too stretched to how it's normally designed. The side grip is all installed. You've basically got Velcro to be able to access the side grip from both, basically from behind and from below. And actually, there you go. You can kind of get to your ports just from the side grip when you've got this much stuff on the back of your camera. Moving on to the upper part where the microphone is. This is kind of a neat design. You basically got a zip. Lets you see the top handle and get access to the microphone. So you've got all the cables and stuff in there. So how this is supposed to work is, if you don't have a microphone on it, you just fold this up and you just use this piece of Velcro and wrap it like that. That's what you have to do. You actually got a microphone like I do. You're supposed to unravel this fully. There's a little piece of hook there, a little piece of loop there, and you kind of just wrap it around the microphone like so, and it kind of snugs the microphone like that. Too much of a pain, but essentially it sort of does something like that. But I don't know, it doesn't really fit this part. This is a Rode VideoMic NTG. It's quite short. Even when I've decided to push it all the way back, it's just not enough. You have to be using a micro shotgun microphone to actually be able to properly hide the mic completely. So yeah. Now there are sort of two configurations with this kit that you sort of need to think about. You've got what I like to call loosey mode, which is where the whole part of the camera droops over the tripod, but then you've got basically kind of slim line. You can sort of tighten the bottom up so it doesn't get in the way, but you can sort of keep the plate available. So let's show. So looking at the bottom of the camera, you can see we've got tie down around the lens. We've got our zip here, which is again the whole length of a lens we could have. If we had a larger lens, this piece of fabric would go up here. For now, I'm just going to put that there out the way, and then you've got your second tie down for your actual base. Now this works great if you want to just put it on the tripod and have the tripod also covered, but you can of course grab the whole of this, tighten it up. I'm just going to pop that around there is what works for me. This I'm just going to stuff in there. You've also got a little strap here that you can use to sort of tighten it up. So now you've got a much more slimlined, kind of cleaner look overall. How do you access your lens controls though? That's where you've got sort of two options. This is where you have to spend time finessing. So you've got one option. You can go from your little window here and just kind of put your hand inside and around, and you can access your lens zoom just like so. You could also loosen all this off and just have access to it down here. Again, rain comes from the sky, so you're not really going to get that wet from here. You can zip it up a little bit. And I really quickly just needed to insert here as well, halfway in the video. Supposedly in the marketing, it says there's supposed to be some kind of strap here or something that basically would strap around here, the actual handle, so it would keep this more tight to the handle. Unfortunately, mine just doesn't seem to have it. I've got the microphone on, which is pointless, but I can put my hand under the bottom part. I'm completely covered, no issues there. And I can zoom in and out, and I can film, like so. I can change the angle length, go down. If I were shoulder mountable, I just have rods on the bottom, and I'd have an eyepiece. The eyepiece probably would fit, and it would just go up on my shoulder, like so. It's just about starting to spit, so I probably need to get the fuck indoors. I actually really like the kit as a whole. It works with V-Lock, happily work with 15mm rods without a problem. It's more awkward to put it on. It's really starting to rain, so I've got to go. But I hope this video was just a little bit useful to those who are just interested. It works with an easy rig, it'll work. It won't work probably the best of an eyepiece, but yeah. Anyway, I've got to go because it's getting fucking wet.